This podcast highlights the experiences of a graduate qualitative research methods class at Texas A&M University Corpus Christi. 8 students utilized Second Life to conduct an ethnographic study in which various Second Life cultures were examined. The following offers a unique perspective of the students and their journeys as they traveled beyond the classroom walls to conduct research in a virtual environment. The golden nuggets of information learned may serve as your golden ticket to understanding the use of Second Life in the classroom. So sit back, open your mind, and enjoy.
Husker Nirvana here. When selecting your sim for your ethnography project, you want to consider all the options available to you in Second Life. Any hobbies or interests you have in your real life will most likely exist in Second Life. I was fortunate enough to find a sim whose theme and purpose is in an area of great interest to me. I chose Patton's Project Island for my ethnography project in Second Life. Patton's is an Indiana Department of Education's Center for Exceptional Learners whose purpose is to provide a safe online environment for learning, collaborating, and networking for Indiana K-12 public schools. Since this sim represents the main focus of my profession, I was able to enter the culture of Patton's with ease. I already knew the jargon and topics that are the main focus of Patton's and the people who visit there. An aspect of conducting ethnography in Second Life that became very clear to me was to assimilate to the environment of the sim as best possible. I did this by dressing my avatar in a professional manner for all interviews and large workshops that I observed. I dressed casually for smaller workshops held in more casual settings. It was very interesting to me that in the larger workshop setting, when I arrived and found another avatar with the exact same outfit on, I felt uncomfortable and awkward just as you would in real life. So much so that I had to leave and change clothes before I could return and concentrate on the observation. My advice to you is get to know your sim and the various cultures you will find. Do your best to assimilate to the culture. Looking the part as well as knowing the language and jargon of the sim is important to building rapport and respect. And remember, without real life, there is no Second Life.
Picture this. You're at the club, the place is packed, the drinks are pouring, the music is banging, but you're all alone, sitting at the bar. Everyone has rejected your advances, and no one comes to talk to you. In many ways, Second Life parallels real life, in that we all know the feeling of rejection. However, Second Life affords an opportunity that First Life doesn't so easily offer. In Second Life, you can change your boobies and booty. Similar to real life, in Second Life, physical impressions shape your interactions. And by altering your appearance, that's boobies and booties, you can assume the image that best facilitates your interaction in your sim. In many sims, sex still sells, and all that glitters is gold. Conversation can be fostered from long flowing hair and painted nails, fashion statements both daring and bold. So, when interacting in Second Life, take inventory of your boobies and booties, or appearance, and make the type of impressions that will aid you in your research.
Matthew Abbott here. I spent lots of time exploring Second Life and decided on the ISTE sim as the site to conduct qualitative research for a doctoral mini-ethnography assignment. I met many different educators in the ISTE sim. Some were technology educators, a few were in elementary ed, but most of the ones I met were either high school or college science educators. I conducted interviews with 4 different educators. One of the things that really stood out and impressed me was their willingness to be interviewed. Some of the interviews were lengthy, lasting an hour or even more. The educators readily agreed to be interviewed, and they didn't balk at the amount of time that the interviews took. Also, they didn't ask or want anything in return for spending their time answering my interview questions and sharing information with me. I focused on the culture of science educators and how they use Second Life, and found out that they use Second Life for professional development activities, to meet and network with other educators in their field, and to create virtual lab experiences for college and high school students. I also learned to keep data sources readily available, and I learned this really by trial and error. I didn't have my interview questions handy when I conducted the first two interviews in Second Life and found that my interview went off track. I lost focus, didn't continue using qualitatively framed questions throughout the interviews like I needed to. For the last two interviews, though, I had my correctly formatted interview questions in a note card readily visible, and so I was able to refer to them throughout the interview process, and it kept focus. The interview went smoothly. I got a lot of great information, and it was a really good experience. Um, Thank you.
A message from Jenny Mexicola. One of the main nuggets she would like to pass on to you is journalizing. When conducting qualitative research, it is critical to journalize what is happening along with your research journey. It's a real time saver to be able to go back and reference names, places, thoughts. Some of those thoughts that just popped into your mind might end up being your best leading ideas. She also would like to share that having been exposed to Second Life has contributed immensely to her knowledge about virtual worlds. She plans to utilize Second Life with her classes at the community college where she teaches. Using a virtual platform such as Second Life has given her the opportunity to think outside the box. Had it not been for this class, she might not have experienced this virtual world in an educational setting.
Hey everyone, this is Plinko Luckless, one of your fearless leaders on this journey through Second Life. If you're anything like me, you might be thinking, hey, I have a hard enough time keeping up with the craziness of my first life. How the heck am I going to navigate a virtual one also? But don't worry, I have a few secrets that can help you with your research. First, don't underestimate the importance of establishing rapport with your participants. Yes, you're going to be told ahead of time how important this is, and yes, you might sort of blow it off. After all, this is only a fake research study, right? Wrong. These are real people and real questions, and you can't skip this very important step. I made this mistake so you can learn from it. I conducted my research at Open University Island, where, fortunately, people are nice to you even if you are clearly a newbie with no idea of what's going on. However, this process was, at many times, overwhelming. I didn't spend enough time in Second Life getting acclimated. Instead, I jumped into my research after just a few visits. This made it difficult to establish any kind of rapport and led me to feel like I was using my participants, since I sought them out solely for the purpose of questioning. For example, the first thing I said to my first interview participant after hello was, I am conducting a research project for school, and I was wondering if I could ask you a few questions about Open University Island. Obviously, I didn't ease into the conversation at all, and I'm lucky she didn't knock me upside the head for being such an idiot. So if you can learn anything from me, please, at the very least, engage in some chit-chat with your participants before asking their help with your research. Many people will not be willing to help you out if your approach is as abrupt as mine was, and it also leads you, as the interviewer, to feel uncomfortable with the situation. Not cool. My second piece of advice is to take advantage of a free writing exercise when you're trying to figure out what exactly all of your interview transcripts, photos, and observations actually mean. I breezed through the coding process since I have a slight obsession, okay, maybe a big one, with Post-it notes. After my desk and notebook were covered in these glorious little pieces of sticky paper, I quickly got them into categories. And then I looked at them to identify the themes and nothing. I could not for the life of me figure out what all these words had to do with one another or the culture I was studying. So our teacher told us to put away our notes, take out a blank piece of paper, and just write. And write some more until we were told to stop. After about 5 minutes of free writing, we went back and picked out codes and categories. I discovered an entire new category I did not previously have, and after about 30 seconds of talking about it out loud, I had that aha moment. Suddenly, I could figure out what the heck the themes of my research were. Sometimes, simple definitely is better. So don't overthink things. Just get out a piece of paper, write, and then bounce your thoughts off of your teacher, a classmate, or any poor schmuck who's willing to listen. Well, that's all of the knowledge I have for today. Chances are you're either feeling a lot more confident about researching in Second Life, or you've fallen asleep listening to me. Either way, have fun and listen to what we wise graduates of the Qualitative Methods class have to say. We've gone through pain and suffering, so you don't have to. Until next time, this is Plinko Luckless saying, be afraid. Be very afraid.